Okay. First, I want to thank all of you for coming to the board meeting tonight. It's always a fun one. We're going to celebrate the students and faculty of the month. So thank you. I know that Director Brenstrand is not feeling well, so he will not be participating in the meeting today. I think Director Baker is going to be here, probably trying to find parking, so she may be coming in a little bit late. But I am calling the meeting to order, and to begin, we will start with the flag salute. Amanda, will you lead us?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any changes or additions to the agenda?
We do not, thank you.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, that takes us to public comment.
We do have a couple of public comments tonight, so as a reminder, each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak. There will be a timer on the screen, and we just ask that you state your name and affiliation with the district when you begin. Our first speaker is Bridget Taylor.
Hello, Superintendent and Board. I'm here, my name is Bridget Taylor. I'm a community member and a educator in Ridgefield. I'm here to speak to you today on the matter of teachers being limited to 1 bus trip and 2 walking field trips per school year at Union Ridge. I'm here on behalf, I feel, as for my students, as much as I hate speaking in public to grown-ups. I feel it's something that needs to be said. I understand the importance of serving the diverse needs of students through a core curriculum delivered with fidelity and rigor. I value this work deeply because it is within our schools and through the decisions you make that barriers are lowered and that all children are given a fair opportunity to reach their potential. But learning is not meant to be isolated into these spaces alone. And in theory it works, but best practice truly looks different. What comes next matters just as much. The real-world experiences that allow students to turn knowledge into understanding is irreplaceable, and it is often outside the confinements of classroom space that it is where learning takes place. These experiences help learning stick, make it easier to recall, and most importantly, help students find joy and confidence in learning that follows them for the rest of their lives. We live in a community rich with resources that naturally deepen learning, and it's our responsibility to help students experience and have access to these resources. Our new literacy curriculum, Wit and Wisdom, opens each module with a piece of art, and intentionally bringing students of all abilities into the same conversation. Whether a student is gifted, a struggling reader, an English language learner, or has a learning disability, art invites discussions and that levels the playing field for all. It creates ownership and buy-in, and that's exactly what we want extending into our community with conversation. We now have a brand new art gallery in our community featuring local artists within walking distance to our school. Kathy Winters, who comes to our classroom with Friends of the Library, has taught students how to view art in the gallery, and I'd like them to have the opportunity to experience this. The Friends of the Wildlife Refuge has created this new beautiful space with the Nature Center, and they're planning to open soon. And I'd like all children to have the opportunity to walk there for free. I'm asking for your consideration for a standard-based principal approval of walking field trips and a case-sensitive decision when it comes to bus field trips. Many of these students will never see the inside of a theater where a book is brought to life, or a visit to an animal in the zoo that we have read about in Module 2, unless we visit the zoo. And OMSI is just letters to them. All of this is relative to our core curriculum and learning and our standards. The wider the range of possibilities we offer children, the more intense will be their motivations, and the richer their experiences. Very nice man, Larice Malaguzzi had said. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I'm getting an error on my timer, so I am keeping time on my phone. Our next speaker is Ellen Rogers.
Thank you. Hi, you all school board members, I guess, directors. Thank you all for coming to hear me give public comment. I really appreciate that you all came to hear me give this public comment. I'm Ellen Rogers. I'm a citizen in Ridgefield. I'm also the commissioner of the the chair of the Commission on Aging. So the Commission on Aging is a Clark County organization that is in its second decade of providing leadership, developing community awareness, and guiding positive change toward an all-age friendly, livable community for Clark County. So we normally have at our meetings on the third Wednesday of the month, and right now we're currently searching for a time and a space, so check the website if you'd like to come to one of our meetings, and this is why you'd like to come to one of our meetings. In October, we had a presentation from Holly Hill of the Clark County Tax Assessor's Office. Holly provided an enlightening presentation about the property tax exemption program for seniors and persons with disabilities. Did you know that in our county of 521,000 people in 2023 that we had 23,890 qualified potential applicants for this tax exemption program, but yet only 9,398 people are taking advantage of the program? If you are a senior or a person with a disability and an income of less than $62,000, you can take advantage of this program to lower your property tax burdens. I might be in the wrong crowd for this conversation, but this is just an awareness thing. Hang on, it makes sense. There are requirements for the program and also an application program, which can take some time to process. And so I am not personally an expert on property taxes. I just heard about them in a meeting in October, but I think it's important for people to hear about it. I would strongly urge any seniors or people with disabilities to check out this program, and there's more information available on clark.wa.gov/assessor, and Holly would be happy to help you out. So the point of my conversation is to say the Commission on Aging meets monthly, and we have lots of information that we are talking about in our meetings. So this month, or this year, we also award the Senior Citizen Award that goes to a Clark County Outstanding Citizen. This year it was awarded to Sharon Wadke of Battleground. But, you know, it could be somebody from Ridgefield because we have some pretty amazing seniors in Ridgefield as well. And in 2026, we are planning to explore the topics of housing and mobility, and which are two of the main topics of our Aging Readiness Plan. So if you'd like to learn more about those topics, come to our meetings. Check out our website for when we meet, because we currently don't actually know when we meet, but we would love to see you there. If you have any questions,
Thank you, Ellen.
feel free. Thanks.
That's all.
Thank you. Appreciate the public comment. With that, we will move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. We are going to begin this evening with our student leadership update from Ridgefield High School. And rather than, I know we're going to miss Nathan in his suit this evening, but we have Madison Ingham, and she's going to do just as amazing of a job sharing with us what's happening up at the high school.
Hello, everyone. I'm Madison, and I'm here presenting on behalf of Nathan, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. But first off, I would like to thank Superintendent Jenny, Dr. Rodriguez, and Board President Brett Jones, and the rest of the board for having me. First up, we had a duck hunt during finals week where ASB members hid 400 rubber ducks around the school, including 10 golden ducks. The winners that found the golden ducks were Michaela Williams, Jade Dawson, Naomi Martinez, Corbin Ingstrom, Israel Garibaldi, Henry Dudley, Danny Coopersmith, Madeline Urbina, Brody Moore, and Coleman Simmons. This is great for our school because it was a fun way to get our students having fun during a stressful finals week. In honor of Valentine's Day, ASV put together a Cupid crew with students Chase Duncan and as Cupid and other ASV members as his helpers. During lunches, students were able to write kind notes or even love notes anonymously, and they would be delivered to that student with a piece of candy. This brought joy to other students who received them and also showing kindness to others who wrote them. Next up, we have the Asian Pacific Islanders Union. This union was founded by students Mason, Louis, and Kaylee Gov and became an official club around October. It celebrates Asian and Pacific Islander cultures. They had a gingerbread contest before break, and here you can see on the right their winners. This club brings building community through fun events away from all the pressures of school. Lastly, we have iTuna. iTuna is ran by President Kate Yoakum, and this club does projects such as cleaning up around the school to keep our school nice and presentable, and students even made their own club t-shirts. That's everything for the month of January and February. Does the board have any questions?
I've got a question. Is there any ducks still out there?
That is actually a great question. I don't know.
So the hunt continues.
Yeah,
All right,
it can.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. You did a great job. I know this isn't on here, but I wanted to share with the board just a celebration about Nathan Kim, who is usually here to do the updates. He's been accepted to Princeton
Attaboy.
and the Air Force Academy.
Oh, boy.
And I believe, I'm going to get it wrong, but another military academy, so I'm not going to say so I don't get it. Naval Academy. That was my guess, but so he's not decided. So next time he's here, we'll have to find out
Got some
where
good
he's
choices.
going to go, but just a huge accomplishment. So congrats to Nathan and his whole family. Next up, we have a presentation from Ridgefield Public Schools Foundation.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Simmons, and I'm the president of the Ridgefield Public Schools Foundation. This is Lachlan. And this is Georgiana Jones, and she's a board member and our chairperson for the Turkey Trot, and has chaired the Turkey Trot for all 9 years that we've done it. And Bridget Taylor, who is also a board member of the foundation. And we just wanted to share our earnings from the Turkey Trot this year. So thanks to community support, we had the most successful Turkey Trot this year ever, and we raised a total of $46,000. And every dollar of that supports Ridgefield School District students and families. We give half to the Family Resource Center. So this year we're giving $23,000 to the Ridgefield Family Resource Center. Chris Popper, can you? We have a check to present to her.
Joe is always so quick to do the photos, but I know Chris wants to say a few
I just have
words.
to- Thank you, Jenny.
Yes.
just a huge shout out to the foundation and their unwavering support of the Family Resource Center. Their commitment to the whole child just ceases to amaze me. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate you.
Can I jump in here? I want to say thank you to the foundation. Not only do you support kids, but like the turkey trot is a fun event just in itself. And the fact that you can raise that type of money in something in the community, having fun, and be able to give that money directly back to the community, it's pretty awesome thing. So thank you very much. Appreciate all your work. Thank you.
And because we have, such a nice crowd, I just certainly want to make sure that folks are aware that the Schools Foundation provides grants to teachers for various projects, so you can apply for those. They also provide scholarships for driver's education and for other events. So if you are looking for some support with something, you can definitely take a look at our Schools Foundation because they support lots of great things in our community. Okay, moving on. Next up, we have our Students of the Month, and we're going to be starting with Ridgefield High School. Oh. Just kidding. We're starting with Sunset Ridge Intermediate January students because we have 2 January students to celebrate first.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Todd Graves, principal of Sunset Ridge, and we are going to start. So just for everyone, all of our students of the month, when we call your name, we're going to have you stand up and come down the red carpet so that we can celebrate you, and stand up here while we say some incredible things about you. So starting off, Ethan McAhone. Come on up, Ethan. Perfect. All right, Ethan, this is what Sunset Ridge had to say about you. We are proud to celebrate Ethan. He truly shines as a responsible, respectful, and resilient leader in our school. Every day, Ethan is incredibly responsible. He can be counted on to follow directions and work hard to do his personal best in every single subject. His sweet, empathetic nature makes him wonderfully respectful to staff and classmates alike. He always looks for ways to be helpful to the class community members and is a bright role model for all of us. In fact, we recently saw his leadership skills bloom when he gently and respectfully brought his group members back on task during a big project. Finally, while he is an extremely capable student, he shows fantastic resilience by learning to trust himself and confidently embrace new challenges. Way to go, Ethan. Now, hang on, before you go, I saw you brought some people with you. Who did you bring with you?
My mom, my dad, and my sister.
Right. This is a part I forgot to mention. Would somebody like to say something on Ethan's behalf? Mom, Dad?
I'm super proud of Ethan. Way to go, buddy.
Love it. Next up, Southridge.
Hi, and Southridge is proud to honor McKinley Robinson. McKinley goes by Mac. She brings a wonderful sense of kindness and care to our classroom each day. She's thoughtful and aware of the world around her, often going out of her way to help the community by picking up trash that isn't hers simply because she knows it's the right thing to do. Mac is always quick to offer help to others, whether a classmate needs support or an extra hand. One of Mac's greatest strengths is how genuinely happy she is for others. She celebrates her classmates' accomplishments with enthusiasm and joy, helping creating a classroom environment where everyone feels valued and encouraged. She consistently looks for ways to lift others up and make sure they feel supported. Mac's positive energy is evident in everything she does. Her optimism and kindness have a ripple effect, brightening the classroom and influencing those around her in meaningful ways. She is caring, considerate, she models empathy and compassion, and her presence makes our learning community a better place. K-Mark, who did you come with?
With what?
Who's here out here with you?
My grandpa and my grandma and my mom and my dad and my sister and my brother.
Would anyone like to say something on her behalf?
Good job, Mac. We're proud of you.
Next up, high school.
Okay, now it's my turn. Yes. Thank you, everyone. So we are really thrilled to recognize this month's Student of the Month at the high school. So Noe Andrade, would you please come up? Noe, this is what was said about you. We're thrilled to recognize Noe Andrade as Ridgefield's High School Student of the Month. This recognition reflects the remarkable growth that he has shown both academically and personally over the past 2 years. After a challenging freshman year, Noe made a deliberate decision to commit to his learning. Through persistence, openness to support, and hard work, Noe transformed his performance, earning a 3.3 GPA in the first semester of this year. Even when learning feels difficult, Noe applies himself and continues to grow. While his journey has not always been easy, Noe has met challenges with perseverance and maturity. Beyond the classroom, Noe plans to try out for RHS soccer team this year and demonstrate strong character through his respect and quiet leadership. Noe values the advice and support of his brother and recognizes the important role his parents have played in believing in him and encouraging him to reach his potential. We are incredibly proud of you and honored to recognize your efforts. Congratulations, Noe. Before I ask you who you brought, I'm going to go off script for a second. This is, knowing Noe from the beginning of last year, I should add one more thing to this. He is one of the kindest, most respectful students we have in our building. And I just want to say that because you model that to your peers around you, and it flows through them. And so keep doing that because it's a great model to our students. Who'd you bring here today?
My mom and dad.
And which one of you would like to say something about Noe? None? Okay. Who does? Where's Dad? Do you want to say something? Yeah. No. It's okay. En español? No problem. Sí. Sí. Do we have anyone here that can translate?
And I want to say thank you, everyone, to take care of my son. We don't know he's a wonderful kid. I know he's a good kid, but we don't know everything you say. I don't know that.
Thank you. Thank you. Wisdom Ridge. And next up, we will have Wisdom Ridge.
Hi, everyone. I am Susan Smith, and I get to be the principal at Wisdom Ridge. This month, we are proud to honor one of our Ridge Connect students, Hudson Conry. He's sitting up front, so it's not long. Hudson is a student who truly loves to learn. Whether he's diving into a new book or asking great questions to understand a new concept, his curiosity leads the way. He puts the same hard work into hobbies, including playing the piano and exploring theater arts. Hudson has even brought his own keyboard to Wisdom Ridge and performed for the staff. However, what makes Hudson truly special is his heart. He is a wonderful friend who is always kind to other kids. Hudson creates little gifts and brings them to his teacher and principal, and is always looking for ways to make people smile. We are so proud to have such a hardworking and caring student in the Ridge Connect program at Wisdom Ridge Academy. Way to go, Hudson. All right, Hudson, tell us who you brought. Hang on just a sec, buddy. Who came with you tonight?
My mama and my dada.
Who's going to talk for you? Who's going to say something?
My dada.
I knew it. Okay, Dad.
Hudson, your mom and I are so very proud of you. Congratulations. You should be very proud of your accomplishment. I also wanted to just take a moment to thank the district and the board for having a program like this for Hudson. It's allowed him to excel and explore things at his pace, and it's felt less like a school and more like an extension of our family, so thank you guys.
Sunset.
All right. I'm proud to announce our student of the month, Allison Edwards. Come on down, Allison. All right, Allison, this is what Sunset had to say about you. Allison is the kind of student who makes our Sunset Ridge community proud. She approaches everything she does with determination and a strong work ethic, even when learning feels challenging. Allison doesn't give up. She asks for help when she needs it, reflects on feedback, and keeps pushing herself to grow. This year, Allison has shown remarkable growth in her confidence and courage as a sixth grader. She is more willing to try new things, take healthy risks, and step outside of her comfort zone. This bravery, paired with her kindness, has made a meaningful impact on those around her. Allison consistently strives to do the right thing, even when it isn't the easiest choice, and she treats others with care and respect. Her perseverance, positive attitude, and quiet leadership truly represent the values of Sunset Ridge Intermediate. We are so proud to celebrate you, Allison. Congratulations. And who did you bring with you tonight?
My mom, my dad, my stepmom, and then my siblings.
Would anyone like to say something?
I just want to say congratulations to Allison. School has not always been easy. It's been a challenge, and I'm so grateful for her perseverance and her positive attitude. She's always loved school and has loved her teachers that she's had throughout the year. And I'm especially grateful for the staff she's had the last several years, with the encouragement that they give her and the positive feedback that they give that helps her strive. So thank you.
Is that Sal? Is that you?
I'm Angie Gott, principal from Union Ridge, and I'm here to honor our friend Audrey Britt. Audrey, honey, you want to walk that red carpet? Okay, we'll just walk the short one. It's fine. Mom can stand there with you, honey. It is our great joy to select Audrey Britt as January's Student of the Month. Audrey is being recognized for displaying all the qualities of our character-strong monthly attributes. Audrey is responsible and respectful, following our school safety expectations, taking care of our workspace, and being mindful of others during carpet time, weekend news, and reading rotations. Audrey is also empathetic to her classmates and her teacher. She cares when others are hurting and notices their feelings of others and does all she can to make someone's day brighter. When the class shares mail during calendar, many of the notes written for friends are written by Audrey. She takes time to write each person's name and finds joy in making a friend smile. Audrey also shows perseverance. When learning and practicing something new that may be challenging, such as blending to write and read, Audrey tries hard and then tries again before seeking support. When she is ready to ask for help, she listens carefully and applies what she has learned so she can be successful. Audrey is grateful. She consistently uses her manners and shows joy in the small but fun moments shared in the classroom, and always walks in the door with a positive attitude, ready to learn. Audrey truly exemplifies what it means to be a tater tot. Congratulations, Audrey.
You want to share who you brought today? Go ahead. My mom and my dad.
Your mom and your teacher. Who would like to speak on her behalf? Would you like to say something on her behalf?
I'm Kristen. I'm her mom. Audrey, I just want to say we're so proud of you. And I want to say Audrey has loved learning ever since she was little. And I knew this was going to happen, but I just want to say that when she came to Union Ridge, being able to have a teacher like Mrs. Scott and a school district that just is so inclusive and supportive and really individualizes learning for each student and helps them thrive, Audrey just blossomed, and her qualities within her heart have just magnified, and it's just so lovely to see that being valued and acknowledged by others, and to have the honor of having her receive this award just kind of, I guess, shows recognition for those qualities that she already possesses. So I'm just really proud of you, Audrey. Congratulations, sweetie. Yeah.
Southridge is up.
I'm Tawny Malone, principal at Southridge, and I'm here to honor Adam McLennan as our Student of the Month. Adam, you were nominated by your teacher, and this is what she had to say about you. Adam is an awesome student who comes to school motivated and ready to learn every day. He works hard, puts his best effort into his work, and he does it all with a smile on his face. In addition, Adam knows right from wrong and holds himself accountable by always being honest. She appreciates Adam's ability to admit mistakes and tell the truth about things, even if it might be hard to say. His positive attitude, honesty, and kindness adds so much brightness to our classroom, and we are lucky to have him in our class and at our school. Congratulations, Adam. Who did you bring with you tonight?
My mom, my dad, and my sister.
Who would like to speak on his behalf?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Laura, his mom. I just want to say we're super proud of you, and for all the reasons listed from his teacher, those are the qualities that we are very proud of, how you handle your mistakes, treat your peers, and overall just really kind person. It's so hard not to cry during this. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And up next is our Early Learning Center.
Hi, my name is Jamie Heim, and I'm with the Early Learning Center. I am so excited to introduce you to one of our little friends, Juniper Hicks. Come on down, Juniper. maybe help her out a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our friend Juniper. Juniper, this month our strong character trait is empathy. And so every month when we choose our student of the month in the Early Learning Center, we base it off of our character strong trait that we are studying in our classrooms. And so when we looked at empathy, Juniper was a perfect fit, and I'm going to tell you a little bit why. She's a wonderful example of what empathy looks like in action at the ELC, and she could tell you what empathy is. She's pretty good about that. During our morning check-in, when a friend shares that they're feeling sad, Juniper's the first to notice. She gently asks what's wrong and thinks of ways to help make her friends feel better. When friends are sick and can't come to school, Juniper uses her choice time to make get-well cards to let them know that they are loved and missed. Yes, you do. It's very special. Juniper always uses kind words and a calm, gentle voice. She pays attention to how others are feeling, and she shows empathy by being helpful, patient, and respectful. Juniper's doing an amazing job. You are doing an amazing job learning what empathy means and showing it with her actions each and every day, and we are so, so proud of you. Juniper, do you want to tell everyone who you brought today?
Mama.
Would you like to say something? I'll give you the mic.
She's also here with her Uncle Jeff, her cousins Brennan and Audrey, and her Papa Mike, and her Grandma Masha. And Juniper, we're so proud of you. And she, with the whole character traits, every day she comes home from school and tells me what she's been learning, and then she'll do things around the house and ask me, Mama, is that a good character? So we're very proud of you, honey.
Do you want to go back? Good job, Juniper. Thank you for sharing both of your children with us. We love them.
It's okay to cry. Sometimes we want to cry too. They're so awesome. Okay, next up, we have a couple other folks that we need to celebrate tonight, and that is our employees of the month. So come on down, Allison Templeton. Now I get to talk about you in front of all these people. So, Allison is an amazing addition to the Southridge team. She always has a smile for parents, students, and staff members. She prides herself in truly getting to know our Southridge students and families and greets most of them by name, making them feel welcome and safe here at Southridge Elementary. Although you mainly see her behind the front desk, she's also often helping by walking students to class or sitting with an upset student in the lobby. She's a go-getter who sees ways the building can improve and takes initiative to make those things happen. Because of her, we have a new system for lost and found. It's always important at elementary. A bulletin board tracking grade level attendance, helping our students see how important attendance is. And she is always willing to jump into any new task or assignment and brings great ideas with her. Southridge is so lucky to call Allison ours, and she is so deserving of this award. Congratulations. Who did you bring with you, Ms. Templeton?
I brought my family, my husband Kip, and my three daughters, McKinley, Madison, and Macy. And I also see lots of friend faces in the room also. So.
Would someone like to speak on Allison's behalf? Oh, okay. She is ready.
I'm saving Kip. That was nice. That was good.
So I'm Krista, and I get the pleasure of working with Allison, and I just want to thank you for everything you do in the office, for our school. We couldn't run our school without you, and so I just want you to know how much we appreciate you.
Okay, and next up, please welcome Kelly Swindell. If you want to walk that whole red carpet, Kelly, you can do that too. Okay. For those of you that don't know, Kelly is our ASL, or American Sign Language teacher at Ridgefield High School. In just 2 years, she has built a program that is truly bursting at the seams. The sense of community she fosters is exceptional. Her classroom is a place where students feel valued, engaged, and inspired to learn. Her dedication results in learners who can confidently and authentically communicate with members of the deaf community, a skill that will stay with them for life. Kelly's students shine beyond the classroom as well, consistently impressing during musical performances across the county and standing out among their high school peers. If you haven't visited her classroom yet, you should. It's a joyful, dynamic space that showcases the very best of teaching and learning. Congratulations, Kelly.
I brought my husband, Chris, but I'm scared for him to have the microphone.
Unfortunately, you don't get to say no, so. Chris, would you like to speak on Kelly's behalf? Okay.
She nudged me and says, "You better not embarrass me." So I won't, because I have to go home with her. She's been a teacher for 26 years and been in the school district even when she was 17 to be an interpreter. And we've been together for 26 plus years. And just to see what she's done for the kids, the children. I mean, I can go anywhere without kids going up to her and knowing her. Adults that used to be her students. You know, it's like I'm walking around with some rock star or something. But she's third year here at Ridgefield, and she's been so happy. You know, big difference coming from Prairie, but she liked Prairie too, but she loves Ridgefield. So I'm just glad to see a transition, and these types of things kind of support that decision as well. So thank you, honey. I'm proud of you.
You did good. Okay, if we could have all of our students and staff of the month come on up, we're going to do a group photo. So you just got to turn right back around, Kelly. Whoop, right back up there. There we go.
Okay, we're going to take a little 5-minute recess, and we'll be back in 5.
Yeah, I know. And then there were about 10. Yeah. I know you handed me the clicker, but I don't know what I did. Okay. Well, thanks for sticking around. We have a few updates this evening. First up, it was a foggy morning this morning when I took this picture. But you can see we have a giant crane out there that is finally installing steel beams in the structure. And steel's been the item that we have been delayed on and waiting for. So it's nice to finally see some of it on the ground happening. But you can see also all the work that is happening. Just a reminder, we have the live stream cam. I did grab a picture later in the day, still today. And on this one, you can see on the front, on the facade, all the slats are going in because that's what the exterior surface actually is hooked into. So pretty soon you're going to start seeing the actual exterior wall of the building, which is pretty exciting. If you look all the way to the right side, you will also see the second floor there is the library. So those are big windows that are in the library. Can't wait to have that all put together and stairs installed so we can get up there. So lots of great work happening at the site. Tonight I wanted to take a little bit of time to just share with you some highlights from the Center for Educational Effectiveness Survey. This is something that we do annually here in Ridgefield and in many districts throughout our state and across the nation. And so I wanted to start by just sharing why do we do this. It is a perception-based survey. It's given to all staff, our students at the 4th grade and up, and to families. It's open for all of them to submit as well. And it is going to examine the readiness to change, organizational trust, organizational effectiveness. It also evaluates some specific instructional practices that are connected to student achievement, allows us to get a little bit of a glimpse into our students' perceptions and attitudes about school and about life, and also understand family perceptions on our district services. So it provides a lot of data and not a big lift of time for all of those individuals that take it. Initially, the survey was developed around the 9 characteristics of high-performing schools. This was research done about almost 20 years ago at this point. They've continued to add to their research base, so you'll see in the data that they actually have 11 characteristics now. But the initial study was done here in the state of Washington with over 400 schools under the OSPI Superintendent Terry Burgesson. We're a few superintendents past that now, but this continues to be great research that we can rely upon. Oh, fancy. I don't know how that happened. Okay. So first, I just wanted to start with a comparison. Every school that completes, every district that completes this survey, they compile all of that data so that they get national norms, national averages. And so you can see across, there's actually 11 characteristics here. You can see where we are above or below the average across the entire nation. The blue bars, the ones furthest to the left, are staff survey results that have been aggregated. The red are students, and the orange are families. And you'll notice that in some cases, there may only be 1 or 2 colors, and that is because the particular item that's being measured is part of the survey for either just the staff or just families or students. So you can see that we have a pretty significant bump above the average, almost 16% above the average in curriculum instruction and assessment, over 13% in district support for improvement, almost 12% above in effective leadership, 15% above the average for monitoring of teaching and learning, almost 15% in parent and community involvement. So really we are performing very well comparatively to other schools and districts across the country. The items that are below the line in almost every case are family metrics. And again, those are kind of in a 3 to 12% range. The only one that we're above the national average for parents and families is in collaboration and communication. So I thought it was worth pointing that out. As the survey has continued to evolve over the years, there's another important part that's really become part of the research base, and it's known as the Powerless to Powerful Conceptual Framework. This comes out of Gonzaga University, also in our state, and the work of Chuck Salinas and Suzanne Gertz. And the book is pictured here. It's actually a very quick, short read about the turnaround of a high school and a district as a whole. But they identified in their research really 3 areas that need to be in place that help students to achieve at a higher level: academic press, social supports, and relational trust. And I'm going to explain what each of those is. We're going to start with relational trust. So relational trust, we look at 2 components: the relationship of staff with leadership, so that would include principals and the central services team, and also the trust between staff and their colleagues, so teacher to teacher. And so we want to look at both of those metrics. And it asks questions around things like, how do you resolve conflict? So you can take a look here at the specific items. When there's a problem in my school, we talk about how to solve it. There's a willingness to address conflict, and staff share a high sense of urgency around the need to improve. So you can see the % positive, the blue bars, the neutral, because this is done on a Likert scale. So it's strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree. That's the gray in the middle. Disagree or strongly disagree with these comments. And so you can see the % negative up against the % positive. So while we might like to see the % positive be a little bit higher, the % negative is incredibly small. And the gray in the middle is really what CEE would refer to as the land of opportunity. Those are folks who are sitting on the fence and the most likely to go to one side of the fence or the other. Couple of just pieces in here. So you want to see the blue above 60%. We're pretty much right at that metric. You want to see the orange below 10, and we meet that metric as well. So under CEE's research, they would say, like, we're hitting the bar. We're not exceeding the bar so much, but we are hitting the bar in this area. We also have relational trust with colleagues. I'm going to click, oops, not all the things. I just wanted to go, can I go back? There we go. Okay, so this is colleague to colleague, and the way that this is measured is really I versus they types of statements. So sprinkled throughout the survey, there are these questions that come in 2 forms. How do I feel about it? And then how do I think my colleagues feel about it? So for example, I welcome new ideas and change versus my colleagues welcome new ideas and change. And what we're looking for is there not to be a huge gap, this I versus they gap. When there's a huge gap, it means there is not trust. I don't trust my colleagues to be doing the right thing, to actually be teaching students, for their students to be achieving. That's what it's measuring. It's very difficult if there isn't trust among the faculty, amongst each other, and in the professional learning teams to really move forward. If you don't think anyone else on your team can do the job, you're not going to invest in those relationships or really work hard at that team atmosphere. So in this one, you're looking for the I statements again to be above 90%. You can see we're pretty close, 88% on the new ideas. We're at 96% for willing to work at changing my school for the better, and 93% for being held accountable for student learning. So those are super positive I statements. When you look at the they statements, my colleague statements, you can see there's a significant drop, particularly around welcoming new ideas and change. So when you look in that lower right-hand corner, you can see it. There's a bar for 20% and a bar for 25%. Based on 2 decades of research, they have found that elementary schools, you want to see 20% or less as the gap. And for middle schools and high schools or secondary level, we want to see it below 25% because secondary teachers are a little crankier. I don't have a better word. So you can get away with a little bit bigger gap at secondary level and still make progress, but our elementary friends really need to feel the love. So This is an interesting scattergram, and I know it's kind of a lot to look at, but what you want to see is you want to see all of our schools in the upper left quadrant. And what you're looking at across the bottom from right to left is the leadership relationship. So my relationship to my principal, my relationship to the district, it goes from low all the way on the right-hand side to high on the left-hand side. And then the vertical, the y-axis, I gotta get my math vocabulary going here, is the staff-to-staff relationship, or that colleague relationship goes from low at the bottom to high at the top, which is why we want to see schools in the upper left. That would be a high relationship to leadership and a high relationship to my colleagues. What I really wanted you to see on this one, and the lines are there so you can kind of see the low, the mid, and the high, is the movement from a year ago. So I definitely want to give a few shout outs to some folks, one of whom is still here. So Susan Smith, our principal, who is new at Wisdom Ridge. Congratulations, Susan. Wisdom Ridge has always been a pretty collaborative team, but you can see that particularly on the leadership aspect, they have moved significantly from the right to the left. Largely in part to Susan's work. So congrats, Susan, to you and your team. Yeah. It's not as as all the people, but I hope you feel it just as much. The other person that I really want to shout out is Jamie Heim, who has left, but you see her heart and passion for our preschoolers, our littlest learners, every time when she brings those kids and really prepares them. And the love of that staff for their students is really heartwarming every single time I have an opportunity to see it in action. But you can see they were really a big outlier to the negative last year in that lower right-hand quadrant, and they have moved significantly. They've moved actually into what would be considered the green for the leadership relationship, and they have moved up to this kind of yellow or orange level for their colleague to colleague. So they're learning to trust each other and to really collaborate and work together. So those are just two really big success stories over the last year. I also want to point out View Ridge Middle School has moved itself from the orange into the green. Union and Sunset have continued to be up there. South has also moved from the orange into the green, and the high school is continuing to hold where they are. So really pretty exciting to see so many of our schools really pushing ahead. Academic press is the second item of that conceptual framework that I mentioned at the beginning. So academic press is really about a school-wide culture of high expectations. It's about really being clear with we expect and know that every student can achieve at high levels in our system. It includes pieces of data-driven accountability. It ensures there's a level of rigor in the classroom that provides a positive pressure, not just to students, but also to staff to achieve academic excellence. That's what I would call positive peer pressure. It really is that thing that is driving everyone to be better, from the kids to the adults, and so everyone in the system. When you're looking at the chart on the left, I know it is a lot to look at. I'm not going to talk about all of it, but this way you have it if you want to go back and take a look. The top section of items are staff survey items. The second rows, the section there is student items. And you can see the 2025, which was the 24-25 school year, so a year ago, and then the 2026, which was this 25-26 school year. When you're looking at items that are in blue or in orange, the blue are going to be high degree of positive responses. Also, you'll see that when you see increases, the color will get more blue as it continues to increase, or it will get more orange if it is decreasing. So lots of great data on here. Staff versus student, it's always interesting to look at the similar or same metric between different audiences. So just like we saw in the national average data where our families are rating us lower, but our staff and students are rating us higher, this is also an interesting one. So the staff statement, I believe that all students can meet state standards, has dropped from 70% to 64%. If I was going to make a hypothesis, I would say this is because we've gotten really serious in the last year about knowing what our standards are and recognizing the rigor that is expected. I am deeply concerned by that number, and so we have a lot of work to do around adult mindset and beliefs about students' capacity and capabilities. The other item there that's referenced, our staff believes that all students can meet state standards. So again, this is that I versus they. In this case, there's not much of a gap. People kind of believe the same as what they think their colleagues think. Comparatively, our students are much more positive. My teachers expect all students to succeed no matter who they are. Our kids are feeling pretty good, 82%. That's a high score for that metric. That said, 82% is 4 out of 5 kids, and that means that 1 out of every 5 students sitting in our classrooms don't think their teachers think they can be successful. So we have some work there as well. The third item of that conceptual framework is student support, and this is really kind of that other side of the coin. So the academic press is all about the academics. Student support is really, how do kids feel at school? Do they feel like they're getting the support that they need? School-wide, do we have systems in place to ensure those supports teacher to student, student to student, and teacher to teacher? Because all of those relationships need to be strong in order for students to be super successful. So again, you have the staff items at the top, the student items below that. You see there's a lot more blue in this area, so I think that's also interesting to note. Here in Ridgefield, where we certainly love our kids, we see a lot of blue, where in the academic we saw more orange. So that gives us an indicator of some places we need to focus on as well. At the bottom, just the comparative one I wanted to highlight for you. So staff, students believe the adults in the school genuinely care about them. And the staff, 89% said yes, like strongly agree. And the students in the school, there's at least one adult who knows and cares about me, and we're at 81%. So we're much closer in that gap between staff perception and student perception around this idea of care. Okay, and then I want to share with you a couple of items that I just think are interesting. There is tons and tons of data that come out of this survey. It literally fills binders, and we could spend a lot of time, but I wanted to give you just some highlights. So these are from the staff items, and we looked at the percent positive, what were the 5 most positive items on the staff survey, and the 5 least positive items on the staff survey. And what I want you to kind of take a look at in the celebratory area is in the top 5, 3 of the items are about my principal. My principal's committed to quality education. My principal cares about me as a person. My principal facilitates systems and processes to support school improvement. 3 of the top 5 most agreed upon statements were about our building principals and assistant principals. So I just think this again highlights and reinforces the incredible leaders that we have throughout our system, and that our staff really feel that care and hard work that those folks are putting in. The bottom 5, you're going to see a lot of it has to do around diverse populations, engaging in difficult conversations. I think as we get to some student items, you're going to see the kids are way more comfortable with those conversations than the adults. We also take a look at the biggest increase or biggest decrease in the positive items. This one I think is worth highlighting. If you look at the ones that increased the most, we're at like 14 to 15%. That's a huge jump in a single year, where the decreases are more in the 5 to 7% range. So I think it's worth calling that out. In this one, again, we see some principal support. So my principal collaborates with people outside of the school to support teachers and students. We went up 15% in a year. I'm super proud of the PLT work we've been doing with our principals, and I think they are making that work public, which is so important to model that really we're the lead learners in the system and that we all have learning and growing to do. We also see the one about support from my principal leads to progress on instructional improvement. And the other one that I think is really great to see is we celebrate progress towards improvement plan goals, because that's been a very intentional effort in the last year and a half to really choose to celebrate together. some of the similar things at the bottom. And then we can see, again, just some small decreases around this all students can meet state standards. So that matches up with that other data point that we looked at before. For our students, again, top 5 most positive and then least positive responses. Our kids are comfortable interacting with people from different racial and ethnic backgrounds. They feel that they're respectful of others, and they feel good about their own cultural or ethnic background. So there is some identity and agency that our kids are expressing, which is really positive. The other 2 top marks are for teachers. My teachers expect me to do my best, and my teachers believe student learning is important. So again, I think our teachers are doing an incredible job of helping kids feel their care and that they have expectations, high expectations for them. You can see some similar items on the bottom, but the ones I really want to point out again, these are the 5 lowest items scored by our students. Most students are respectful of others at this school. I enjoy coming to school. Work I do in this school is useful and interesting to me, and my teacher tells me the purpose for each lesson or activity. So our students are telling us that they're not super engaged in what we're doing, and that's certainly something for us to be investigating further and taking some steps forward on. This one just highlights for you, this is another I versus they gap, and this one is quite stark. So 90% of our kids say I'm respectful, but only 43% say my peers are respectful. So half of the kids who said I'm respectful, they don't think their colleagues, their peers are respectful. So again, this is one of those things with perception data, all it does is really help you to ask better questions. So one of the questions for us is really around asking our students, what is it about your peers that you feel like is disrespectful? And helping them maybe to define and do some of that character education work that we heard about with our preschoolers tonight. This is the increase and decrease. Again, the increases 7 to almost 10%. The decreases are really tiny. 4 of the 5, it's less than 1% change. So not huge changes in terms of items going more negative for kids. But the ones that had the biggest jumps, also some real celebrations. My teachers often tell me how I'm doing in their class, almost a 10% increase. That's huge. It's really hard to know what to change if you never get feedback on how you're doing, whether you're doing well or what you need to improve upon. I solve problems. I often see the principal or administrators around the school talking to students. That was a 7% increase. So that tells us our administrators are getting out into classrooms more. They're getting out on campus more. And students are involved in solving problems also went up over 7%. So some real celebrations there as well. This one is going to give you kind of a bigger grain size snapshot. So of all the items in the survey, there are items that fall into each of these buckets around academic equity, behavioral standards, celebrating success, etc. There's typically at least 3 items within each category, and that means there would be 3 items on the staff survey, 3 items on the student survey, 3 items on the family survey. Those are all averaged together. And this particular graph is showing you the change from last year to this year. So measure by multiple items and then average to determine the change. Again, if you're looking at the orange color, that means there was a decrease in that set of survey responses. If you see a blue, it means there was an increase. So certainly a celebration. Almost every single category we saw an increase from our kids, their perception of how things are going at school in each of these areas. Our families mostly are positive. The supported learning and academic equity are the 2 that are below 0. And then our staff, you can see the celebrating success, so that aligns to that other data point we looked at. A little bit of an increase around intervention for struggling students and for safety, but we also see some drops that align to some of those specific items we already looked at as well. Another piece that has been added to CEE's work over time is social emotional learning, and I'm gonna refer to this as foundational skills. We talked about this a lot at the last board meeting around the soft skills, what we used to call soft skills, but these are the things that help you to get employed and stay employed. So future orientation, those questions are all about, do you set short-term goals, long-term goals? Do you monitor your progress towards goals? Self-management, perseverance, stamina, critical thinking. These are things we all want our employees to do. For those of us that run businesses, these are things we want our students, our children to be able to do as well. And then collaboration and interpersonal skills. This is giving you the longitudinal 3-year. So this is giving you the 23-24 school year, then the 24-25, and we do this like early November is about when we take this, and then the 25-26. So you can see in many categories, we saw a drop between the 23-24 and that 24-25. We've basically recovered those and are kind of back where we started a little bit on most of these. So we're going to continue to monitor this data over time. Certainly we want to see, it's great that they're pretty much all at 70% or higher, but of course we want it to be even higher than that. I did include, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I wanted folks to have access to it. These are the behaviors that make up each of those items. So if you're wondering, like, what does the school mean when they say self-efficacy? It's a belief in one's capability and capacity to learn and succeed and having a growth mindset. So that's included really just for reference for everyone to know what are the actual behaviors and skills that are being measured. So what comes next? Principals review their building specific data with their coach, which is Dr. Ellis. The data is shared with their building leadership teams. It's important to contextualize it. So for example, you saw when we looked at the scattergram, Sunset Ridge has decreased a bit. Given the context of the school separating, lots of people moving different places, of course we would expect that that would have an impact on how people are feeling about it. So it's important to have that conversation around what are some of the factors that may be playing into those scores. And then it's really about identifying a narrow scope to think about what else do we want to know? What do we want to focus on for this next year? And do some action planning and then monitor in that area. It very often begins by having conversations. So with all perception data, it is going back and asking people, why do you think that was what our ratings were, and what examples can you share? Sometimes it is as simple as helping us all speak the same language. So that's what's coming next. Highlight survey. Oh, I think this has actually been updated, so I'm going to skip past this, but I've talked about most of these, so it'll be in there for you all. Just a couple other quick updates for you tonight. Our staffing.
Can I ask a question about that? The data
Sure,
you just shared?
you sure can.
So, one, thanks for all of that. I know we're in the midst of strategic planning. I know our building leaders do school improvement plans every year. How is this information plug into those processes for tracking progress and setting goals?
Yeah, so I'll start first with the school improvement planning. This is really probably going to be embedded into some other goal. So taking a look at what is there a lever within this perceptual data that we might be able to pull on to move student achievement forward. So it's going to be really specific to the building and to their own data. I think you would see this at a smaller grain size around the work that a building leadership team is doing. So that would probably be an easier way to really see how this work is operating. In terms of our broader district-wide goals, I believe there's probably going to be components of this survey that we can utilize as metrics when the goals are finalized. So some of this will be aligning some of those survey items up against those goals. And then again, that will give us a way to really take a temperature check year to year. Perceptual data, like all data, it's a dipstick in time, but certainly it helps us to know, are we improving? Are we falling backwards? And helps us kind of know, where do we go next?
Do you know about approximately how many people took the survey in each of those groups?
I do, but I'm not going to remember that off the top of my head. So I'll be happy to get that data for you, and we can even add it into the survey into the slides so that folks know. But I believe we had about 300 staff. I'm going to guess 300 plus students. Families is always, I think that was the staff one. It's okay. I'm going to click, 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 Joe, so we'll find it. It's going to be all the way back. You're right. It was the staff. It was the 3 Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Yes. So this is staff. So just shy of 300 for staff. For students, we did have a pretty good report rate because we really made an effort to make sure students had time to do this during school. We also publicize this with families during conferences. That's the best way, but Joe Viger, our communications director, also sends it out via Parent Square. We post, we remind, all of those things. So we try to get as many as we can. We had more in every category than we did a year ago, so we're always trying to get more people to participate. But still, the family survey is the smallest return rate that we get.
So, like with the student, is there a, like, 5th, 6th graders, any student that wants to take it? Like how, because I mean.
No, it's like, everybody get your Chromebooks out. Here's the link, and we have 20 minutes. Please take the survey.
Anybody.
Every kid.
Every
we want every kid. We don't do it with our littlest guys, right? Because of the reading, the time, the testing on the computer. They piloted CEE, did for a while a paper one with little happy faces, and but the labor intensity of collecting and compiling all of that is pretty significant, and so there's very few districts that utilize it for younger students anymore. So it's typically done at the middle school and high school level.
Yeah, okay. Because, I mean, some of those questions could be difficult for an adult to answer, let alone a kid not. So then they're just kind of checking boxes, and that could technically skew the.
It could. I think, though, you're looking at the overall, right? The averages. We're not looking at just individual responses. So it's as reliable as any survey data.
Oh, I think it's great. I like you said, it's a dipstick in time, but that's what you need.
Yeah.
It's a place to start with, and it's a place to definitely see growth, and it's also to see where you need to grow more. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's good.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I can't read this, Joe. I'm looking. Student was 1475. Families was 346. No?
She's saying my numbers are out of date.
Okay, I was like, that doesn't look right to me, but.
Students at 2147.
Oh, 2147 students. And how many family? 352. That's really good. Yeah, and almost 300 staff. And the staff, we changed that this year, and basically, like, this is your staff meeting, and we're pretty direct with our principals. Like, otherwise it becomes, some people do it, some people don't. And we really want to get a cross section, as many as we can.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, team. Okay. Skipping past that. Staffing process, we're just continuing. Just want to keep you updated where we are. Last week, View Ridge Middle School staff, including incoming 6th grade teachers, had their scheduled committee meetings. I'm happy to report that they were able to come up with their recommendations. So we will be maintaining the View Ridge 6-period day schedule. However, for 6th grade, we're going to be grouping students so that basically they're in a pod, if you will. I don't know how else to describe it today, but you'll have a math teacher, a science teacher, an English language arts teacher, and a social studies teacher, and those 4 teachers will share the same students. They'll rotate through. So it provides a little bit smaller feeling for those kids. They have common teachers within that group, and we're excited because I think it's exactly what you need when you start off in middle school. You just need a little more time to acclimate to that whole thing. So excited about that.
And student groups, student cohorts stay together and rotate through, so the same 30-ish kids are together in all of those classes, like they are currently, just
I was like,
4
I don't
instead
know
of
the
3.
answer to that, but
Correct.
yes.
Okay, thanks.
One of the benefits of doing that is that it takes a little bit more staff to run cohorts in that way at a secondary building. And so the benefit of that is that each of those teachers will also be able to offer an intervention or enrichment period each day. So this really should help us to start to get after particularly our math scores that we talked about last time, ensure that kids are getting some extra support, that the kids that need extra support. So excited to pilot that next year. We also were busy working last week on classified staffing allocations. We're continuing that work this week, getting that finalized, getting the View Ridge Middle School and Ridgefield High School staffing allocations finalized. Next week is the big shuffle for classified staff. So just as we went through with our faculty, our teachers at the elementary level, we have a similar process planned for our classified staff. So as we're making the move from Sunset Ridge Intermediate to Sunset Ridge Elementary and moving 6th grade up to View Ridge Middle School, we have some shifting of positions and people to do. So similar to the teacher process, staff will have an opportunity to put in their priority order of the positions of interest, and then we will follow our labor agreements in the order that staff are placed. So our goal is to, by the end of next week, have those notifications out, which I'm sure will be a big relief to all of our RC friends that are just waiting for that process to happen. By early March, I anticipate we'll post any remaining open certificated positions and then begin a reduction in force by the end of March if necessary. Again, the timeline for that under the REA agreement is April 15th. Okay, and then last but not least, wanted to share some good stuff, and there's like so much good stuff. I just crammed all the pictures on here for you. So last week was National School Counselors Week, so cute graphic there of all of our school counselors. They're doing a great job. Right below that group picture, you can actually see one of our counselors, Ann Lamping of Southridge Elementary, helping some students at our 4th grade career fair. Just a couple of the great photographs that Joe Weigert was able to capture, but super fun event, and I love it because we host it here. So we have kids in the building all day, which is so fun. So that just happened last week. There's also a great article in the Columbian about our high school students at RHS and the Spudworks online store, so you can go and get your own Spudtastic cutting board or your engraved mugs or all the other things. So when you need a gift, think of Spudworks online, and the link is there for you. We also had the ribbon cutting ceremony just a couple of weeks back for K-World, which is our transportation cooperative. We've added 14 electric vehicles to our fleet at basically no cost by the time we worked through all the grants, the partnerships, the tax incentives, etc. And there's a little close-up because they had custom ribbon made with all 4 districts' logos, which was super fun. So wanted to include that for you as well. And with that, I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have tonight.
No questions. All right, thank you for that report. And with that, that takes us to board communication. Donna?
I just want to congratulate all our students of the month and our teachers and staff. Thank you all for coming. And I don't have anything to add.
Amanda?
Yes, I wanted to also congratulate all the students of the month and employees of the month. And then I also wanted to do a shout out to Stephanie Bloom and the 6th grade band concert. And I remember last year the comment that was made, I can't believe how much they improved. And it was shocking. They sounded like little musicians. It was so beautiful and so pleasant. And she had so many kind things to say about the students too, and I just thought that was really lovely. The way she celebrated them is just really good people, and I loved. It was a very proud moment, proud mom moment, but also proud board moment. I also got to walk around during that 4th grade career fair, and I just wanted to thank the counselors that worked so hard to put that together. It was really a wonderful group of really diverse careers, and thank all those volunteers for showing up, really dedicated and so committed volunteers to bringing all this stuff just to show the kids and expose them to all the different career options that we have in our community. It was lovely. Let's see, what else do we have? I also wanted to thank the foundation for hosting Kevin Ashworth from the Northwest Anxiety Institute. They did a presentation 2 weeks ago now, I think it was, with parenting, anxiety, and smartphones, and they're doing another follow-up session tomorrow night. And it was really informative as a parent, but also just to kind of have that resource in our district was really incredible. I'm glad they tapped into that and were able to offer that for our families. It's also Bus Driver Appreciation Week this week, so I thought shout out to our awesome bus drivers. I know I only have 2, but I sure love them, and I wanted to thank them for always focusing on keeping all of our students safe and supported and smiling. That's their mission. And then, let's see, I just wanted to also highlight that Director Farnsworth and I will be at the library next Wednesday at 5:30, the February 18th, for our community chats. We are hoping for a full house. Yeah. And I love when people can come and talk to us. I know it's going to be hard though, because those Unite Ridgefield kids are hosting a movie event with Meaningful Movies at the exact same time, and it sounds like it's going to be amazing. So if you don't show up to our community chat, you better be at that movie. That's what I'm going to say. So, thank you.
Amber.
It's a hard act to follow every time. I also attended the presentation on anxiety and social media, appreciated that was happening. And another thing that the foundation is offering they have a library checkout for the Anxious Generation book, and they also have a young adult version of that book, which I did not know about. So was excited to learn that they are also checking out copies for our young adults in our community who are interested in learning more from a youth perspective on that. February 26th, which is the last Thursday of February, Director Jones and I are going to have a community hangout at 3 Peaks over on the other side of the highway from 6 to 8. We've been doing those every once in a while together. We're going to do another one this month. Also got to attend walk around the career fair, which was lovely, and wanted to just bring back Director Jones. I learned about Ag Day, which is happening at Southridge, and volunteered you to help with that.
Let's do it.
As well as myself. So that was cool to hear that Southridge is also doing planning an Ag Day for students to learn about different agricultural practices in the community. So stay tuned for more on that, but I'm excited to get to partner on that with you as well.
That's awesome. Anytime I can talk farming, I'm all in. So I don't have anything tonight. So with that, we will move to new business. Oh, I do have, we will be at 3 Peaks. Yeah, we're going to rock that. So 6 to 8, 26th, February.
Beverages with Brett and Baker, I
There-
believe is the
yeah,
tagline,
it's got a good little
right?
ring to it.
Yeah, it does. It does. I know we have such a huge audience out there in virtual land that if you work in an agricultural industry, you can reach out to us and we'll get you connected with the team at Southridge because this will be the first annual event for that. So super excited about that. Okay. No old business today, so right to new business. So item 9A, I gotta get to the right packet here, is approving 2-year renewal of iReady of math curriculum for use in kinder through 5th grade. This is our existing math curriculum, and because we have now established a cycle for curriculum adoptions, both for the financial need and the instructional need, we have a couple more years before we're going to have our new math materials in place. So we need to extend our current adoption for 2 years. And this is really just maintaining those online subscriptions and licenses for students to access the materials and the necessary consumable workbooks. The total cost for the 2-year extension is $207,000, and it's with Curriculum Associates iReady Math. We are recommending approval as presented.
I move that we approve the 2-year renewal of iReady for math curriculum for use in kindergarten through 5th grade as presented.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same call. Motion carries.
Thank you. Takes us to item 9B, approving the Chromebook purchase for the 26-27 school year. As you know, we have Chromebooks for student use. We replace them on approximately a 6-year replenishment cycle. This purchase is for 1,300 Chromebooks from Howard Technology Solutions, which includes the annual replacement with some additional cart storage and devices, so that next year, by the end of next year, I anticipate we will be able to go to carts for laptops at the middle school as well. I think our families and our teachers are going to be excited about that. So we'll be working towards that by the end of next school year. The purchase amount is just shy of $500,000. We are bringing this to you early ahead of our typical spring purchasing schedule because the cost of devices is going up day by day by day. So we want to get the best deal we can for our dollar. So again, recommending approval of the purchase of 1,300 Chromebooks in the amount of $497,906.88.
I move that we approve the Chromebook purchase for the 26-27 school year.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I do have a question on this one. I love hearing about the adding the carts for middle school. That's really great. I'm curious if the Chromebook per student, I know not for this year, but I'm just curious in terms of assessing whether that is like continuing to be a need in terms of the amount of usage for all the grades. Like I don't really have a sense of how much the Chromebooks are getting used. Actually, and I know there's talk out there and news articles about and parents thoughts about should we go back to pencils. So I'm just curious about that conversation as we are like moving forward again, which I'm just saying to board members, I'm not against moving forward at this current moment. It is also bringing up that question.
Sure, of course. We still use pencils too.
Yes.
And when you use the carts, you actually end up with more than one device per student because kids are moving about the building at the middle school and at the high school level. We are being thoughtful around what courses or classes do not need to access the Chromebooks. That said, in any of your core content classrooms, much of the curriculum now available, let alone adopted, includes online licenses and online materials. So it is necessary to access a lot of the core curriculum that we currently have and that I would anticipate we would have in the future. The other reason that I would share, and I know no one wants to hear the word COVID, however, we never again want to be caught flat-footed in the event of something that would shut down in-person school for any length of time. So part of maintaining the one-to-one device ratio is really part of our continuity of operations emergency planning. So I think moving to carts where students don't have access has been incredibly successful at the elementary school. And in conversations with Principal Mansfield at the middle school, there's a desire to go that direction there as well. I think all the learning we've done as a board over the last year around the anxious generation and the use of technology certainly support that we would reduce the time that students are accessing those devices. But I don't know that we're in a place where we would want to completely shut down access.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Dr. Rodriguez, I don't think, well, I'm positive you weren't here, but we used to have carts, wasn't right? We had carts, and then was it COVID? We got rid of carts, and now we're back to carts. So we know we've seen both sides, and we agree that this is the better side. Good. Okay. So
Yeah, I think what hit me when I first got here and I was visiting schools like the first month of school and I saw kids at elementary recess on their Chromebooks was my first like, something's wrong. So
good read.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if we would have kept those carts, they would have been outdated, I'm guessing, at this point.
We actually had many in storage and were able to clean them up and use them. There's actually very few that have kind of outlived their lifespan. So we're still utilizing lots that we had around. And then we are purchasing some additional at this time because of cost escalation. Also because we have the ability with the building of the new school to purchase the carts for the new school under the construction budget. So that's allowing us to stretch our technology budget a bit as well.
So I'm glad to hear that we didn't just throw them away.
Yeah.
So, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same call. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Where it takes us to item 9C, we have a slew of first reads, so no action on these items, but 9C is first read of revised board policy number 2170, career and technical education. There have been several minor updates to this policy in the WASDA model policy. This will bring us in line with that policy, so we will bring this back to you at the next regularly scheduled board meeting and recommend approval of the policy. You have the red line document, so you can see what's changed, but it's really pretty minor. Happy to answer any questions. Hearing none, I'm going to go on to 9D, first read of revised board policy number 2409, world language mastery-based credit. Again, we're just continuing to work our way through all of the policies and procedures in the district to get up to date. This one was initially adopted in 2018. The proposed changes will align to the WASDA model policy. I would also let you know that there will be a procedure change that goes along with this one to ensure that students who are able to demonstrate world language mastery are able to get 2 to 4 credits of high school credit towards graduation. So we're going to be making a concerted effort to test students in the 8th grade moving forward so that students who have that knowledge already can walk into the doors at the high school with credits under their belt. So just wanted you to have that additional information as well. Happy to answer any questions.
I just have one question that I'm thinking of now. And do we have the ability to test in every language that?
Not every language under the sun, but many, many, many of them.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. We use the Avant, AVANT stamp assessment There are a number that involve reading, writing, speaking, listening. There are also some verbal-only languages that are also eligible for testing. And newer in the state, we also can assess and grant credit for Native American languages. Those assessments are done by the Native American tribe. They have the right to make those decisions about that. So exciting to see that that has just continued to expand over the last decade in our state.
That's wonderful.
Okay, moving on to item 9E, first read of revised board policy number 2413, equivalency credit opportunities. I'm not going to get on my soapbox today, but here's what I want you to know. Everybody knows, like, once it's about this time, Jenny starts to say things. So our students really have the ability to earn equivalency credits. And what this is for students as they're checking those boxes on their graduation plan. In many cases, there's a variety of courses, including career and technical education courses, that could meet the spirit and the letter of the law of those standards. And so we have a handful of these already in place, but we are going to add some more this next year. The board policy, you're going to see there's a pretty substantial change. There's a number of changes that WASDA has made. Again, just in the spirit of sharing more information, in addition to this policy change, we will also be updating our list of equivalencies at the high school. So these would go in effect next year. We want all students, of course, taking algebra, geometry. That's the preparation really for those state tests, and the baseline for college success, should students choose to go that route. It's also really the basics that are necessary for many apprenticeships and all kinds of other things students might be interested in after high school. But for that third math credit that's required, there's a lot of things you could do. You could do construction trades. I'm not going to think of more. I'm looking at Jill. Yeah, for math. I think we have like, oh yes, machining classes. I think there's also some like computer-aided design types of things. So, yeah, so third credit of math is where we're talking about. Students are also required to get 4 credits of English language arts to graduate. And in many of our trades-driven areas, there is reading and writing that is necessary. And so it's possible for kids to get equivalency credit with some of those higher level career technical ed classes as well. So I'm just excited we're going to expand that opportunity for students to really get engaged and take coursework that's meaningful to them. Happy to answer questions.
I just want to say I appreciate that. That's a pro-student move, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. There's more, but I'm saving that for another day.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to item 9F, first read of revised board policy number 3520, student fees, fines, and charges. There were some changes around this. It really has to do, I'm looking at the wrong paper, that's why it didn't make any sense. Has to do with when diplomas can be withheld, which is pretty much never. So, so we're just getting in line with this one. Again, getting caught up. There is some bigger changes, but you have all of that in the red line. There's some updated legal references as well. Moving on to item 9G, first read of revised board policy number 5000, recruitment, selection, evaluation of staff. This one, again, we're just bringing things in line with WASDA model policy. You're going to see some changes, but not a huge change in really the content of that particular policy. But we will bring that one back for you to hopefully adopt as well at the next board meeting. That is the last of the new policies for tonight.
All right, thank you. So with that, we do have reason for executive session tonight.
We do. We are requesting executive session for performance of a public employee under RCW 42.30.1101G. Would anticipate 30 minutes, returning at 7:20.
I move that we go into an executive session for the stated purpose of reviewing performance of a public employee for 30 minutes, returning at 7:20 p.m.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, we need to extend executive session 10 minutes. We will be out at 7:30. All right, we are out of executive session. There was no action taken, and this meeting is adjourned.